Welcome back everybody to West Seattle Bowl Proshop Vids. Today we've got an exciting one for you. We've got the Ebonite Gamebreaker 5. The Ebonite Gamebreaker 5, as we like to say, it's a continuation of all the amazing game breakers that have ever happened in the past. Moving on from the most recent Ebonite Gamebreaker 4 Hybrid, that ball for me was pretty darn good. I got a 300 with it last year. I'm looking to see if maybe this is another continuation of that. It's got the same V2 enhanced core that the other Gamebreaker had, the Gamebreaker 4 Hybrid, with a different cover stock. This is the GB12.7 solid. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to play. We're going to throw it today against our Hammer Scorpion Low Flare, just because that's our benchmarky kind of ball, and we're going to see the differences in how they play out. It's going to be an interesting one, I think, for sure. But you be the judge. Having said that, we got our 44-foot Proshop pattern out. So pretty heavy volume. It's a little bit heavier than our house shot, but I think it'll handle these balls pretty good. The cover stock on the GB5 is pretty strong. It's got a chunky cover, as I've heard it referred to. So we'll see how that rolls and eats up some of this oil. Let's give it a shot and see what's up. All right, so as you might know how we're gonna start this, we're gonna throw our baseline shot with the Scorpion Low Flare. I listened to the comments. We need more baseline footage, so let's do it. Let's make it happen, all right? Let's see what we're gonna do. First shot here, we're gonna stand in our normal spot for this pattern. We'll see how it rolls. Okay, a little inside, but not too bad. It held. My Scorpion Low Flare for me has been extremely benchmarky. It's tried and true so far and really been a staple in the middle of the bag. A little bit farther right. Still got back a little light. Not the greatest shot, but that's what that rolly ball does. Make a bad shot, it still keeps you in play. Get that out of there. So as you can see, that ball definitely is continual, but it gets down lane pretty well. Gets a little bit more forward off the pattern than I think the GB5 will, but we'll see how that plays out. Nothing hits like a hammer. So the layouts on both of these balls today are really similar, so we're really going to be playing with core and cover stock. All right, that's 5. I feel like we got a good look at what we're doing there. Nothing too crazy, just staying in front of ourselves and getting the ball to read. Let's try the Gamebreaker 5. What do you think? As you can see, this ball, it's a lot more sanded than that ball even came out of the box. So I'm expecting it to roll a lot more. Do we need to say it? Of course we need to say it. MBC, let's go. I'm gonna get a jersey. It's gonna say MBC on it. It's a fabulous thing. So that one, to my eye, it looked rather similar. I did notice though that it had a lot more, I think, continuation. You never saw it go forward off the back of the pattern, where the Low Flare to me seemed to get a little bit more forward. So could that be cover? Maybe, possibly. This one definitely has some snow tires on it. It's got some winter tire action, where the other one's maybe, let's say, fall tire action. It's not necessarily for drag stripping, but it's not necessarily for the mud either. Oh, way outside. Okay, so, yeah. Remember, 44-foot pattern, heavy volume, missed right, still got back. lot of continuation there. Pins stayed low. The techies want to know what this is. This is a 248 RG and a 048 differential. So relatively low numbers. Move a couple more off of that. Let's just see how much more room we got. Because this thing's rolling. Get it right. Ooh, close. Close. Okay, so definitely moved in a little bit. Got it farther right. Got back, a little late. Wrap 10 there. But not bad. Not bad at all. Move a couple in off of that. Let's see if we can't slow it down. Maybe. Maybe yes. All right, so ball's definitely got a little bit more continuation compared to the low flare. For the low flare, we're talking about how continuous it is, and while it's still continuous, I think this ball, because of its cover right now, might be a little bit more forgiving and reading the lane a little bit cleaner to where it's not skidding so much. Not talking about much, mind you, but just a little bit. Wow. That's impressive to see. Something for that middle price point that's giving you that much roll and reaction. Now we've moved probably 3 to 5 varying boards on the shots here. Let's go back to the low flare and just see how that plays in comparison to it. Let's see if I can actually continue to trust the ball to the right. A little bit. But yeah, as you can see, it definitely wants to hydroplane a little bit more towards the break point, whereas the GB5 wanted to roll just a little bit more. Could that be cover stock? Sure. Could that be core? Maybe. I don't necessarily think it's too different of a core. I think the numbers are similar, but I'd have to check. But definitely you see a difference genetically of these two balls. Got that one right. Got that one right, but it definitely wanted to kick a little bit harder in the back end. So definitely not as early as the GB5, but still pretty darn close. Okay, so now we'll go back to the GB5 in that same spot just so we can kind of see the difference more clearly from one to the other. Even that one was in, and it still just had a smoother shape to it. Let's get one out to the right so we can see it. There we go. So as you can see, the GB5 on that is definitely more round of a shape and a little bit more even rolling compared to where my low flare is right now. My low flare, while still being a very continuous benchmarky ball that is that shape, I think the cover change right now, being that it's been bowled with, I think you can definitely see how it corners just a little bit harder down lane compared to the GB5. But if we're talking about bang for your buck, compared in that middle line price point, the low flare and the GB5, I don't think you can go wrong, because those are two big, rolling, medium aggressive balls. You get a lot of bang for your buck out of that. All right, so now we're in another one or two. Kept it in, it still wanted to corner. So still red, still continued, just enough to push that 4-7 out. But it's definitely really rolling in that middle zone. It's not skidding, even in that heavy, heavy part of the lane, it's not skidding terribly down lane. So extremely forgiving. And as we talked about in the low flare video, being really stable, this ball seems really stable. Doesn't seem to want to get offline too much. It just stays even rolling and just makes its right turns when it wants to, which is nice to see. I guess that's because it's symmetric. But even some symmetric pieces, as we see in the low flare right now, with the cover being where it's at, it still wants to make a harder direction change down lane. How about that one? Woo, we got it right. It's still cornered, it's still rolled, it still had energy down there. So if you're in the market for a new ball in the middle price point area, could you go wrong with either one of these choices? Absolutely not. The big differences I will say is that I tend to see a lot more roll in the GB5 than I did in the low flare Scorpion. But that ball in itself still rolled really, really good in that price point, in that middle of your bag kind of benchmarky feel. So can you go wrong with either one? Of course not. But the GB5 does tend to be a little bit sooner and stronger, I think. What we haven't done is we haven't moved right. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, really aggressive there. Definitely picked up probably about 35, 40 feet and just went left. If we were to throw the low flare there, let's see where that would play. So pretty similar. Pretty similar, except that ball wanted to tip up and get forward a little bit sooner just because of where it's at cover-wise and where the oil's placed in the lane right now. If you're lucky today, as you can see, we've had a lot of visitors today because we're just filming right now. But if you look closely back there, you just might see Syrup Jim walking around in the background. It's kind of like a Where's Waldo book. You'll see him somewhere, but you don't really know where he is until you go, oh, I saw him, there he is. So keep your eyes peeled, because you never know what you're gonna find in a GB5 video. Little in off my hand. Not the best shot. Let's try that one more time. I got distracted by a Syrup Jim somewhere. There we go. Shooting them around, that's all we do. Throw it good, look what happens. You get a good shot. I want to tinker just to see how far we can push it. Let's go another 4 left. Now, this might result in a spray and pray release, but we'll see. Oh, come on. Just push it out of the way. So, that's the result of being continual. If we tried that with the low flare, it'll probably be pretty similar. However, I would imagine that it might get a little forward comparatively. Yeah, just a pinch different, right? You really can't go wrong with either one. I like them both. It's hard to decide which one fits the best, but I feel like I'm getting more NBC, even though the low flare is still pretty new. I'm getting a little bit more NBC out of the GB5. Okay, so we'll go back, 5 where we were, because that was just a fun shot. Let's see. Oh, bird dog. Let's go. So that low RG, we're seeing it keep the pins low, but we're also seeing it roll in the mid lane quite a bit and be really continuous down lane. What I will notice here is, we just pointed it out, the cover stock on this, even though we've been throwing it for a while, it still has that dull finish to it. So it's not getting really shined up from the lane oil. There we go. Dang, it's just strong, man. Wow, wow, wow. So exact numbers wise, I can't remember what it is. It feels like right now it's a right about there layout where you just go right there. We pretty much copied it off of the low flare. I wanted to see how similar they would be, and I know they're gonna be close, but I really wanted to see if there was a difference in the two, and there is. So they're definitely both usable, but layout wise, it's exact same almost as the low flare. All right, so we're gonna end here. We're gonna try to really see if we can, instead of trying to send messengers, which has been what it's been doing, let's see if we can really just pack one in there. Like that. Maybe not like that. Dirty dog. Dirty, dirty dog. All right, guys and gals. We've thrown in, we've thrown out just to see the differences between the two. We've compared. We talked about layout, RGs. I think the only thing left to do here is throw one solid in the pocket, not as many messengers. See if we can't just take 10 back and end it on a good note. Like that. Just bulldoze the 8-pin over and make it lay there writhing in pain. So, GB5, comparative to the low flare? Absolutely. Can you go wrong with either one? Absolutely not. Are they both going to do what you need in the middle of the bag in that benchmark kind of area? Absolutely. I don't think you go wrong with either one. So we're going to send it to you on that. But before you go, I want everybody out there to know that this last video that I did was the hammer effect, and it was a huge viewing. And we just want to thank you guys for all watching, being fans. We enjoy making the content for you. We hope you enjoy it for fun, for creative purposes, for educational to a certain degree. NBC is not necessarily an educational factor, but it's there, right? So again, thank you everybody, and we'll see you guys in the next one.